Students, welcome to the class and a very good morning to all of you. In my last lecture, I told you that the main discourse of the book entitled The Battle of the Books can be divided into 6 incidents, and I interpreted the first incident that concerns the origin of the battle between the ancients and the moderns and the preparations made by the two sides for the battle in St. James's Library. And I also related about Swift's contention that the war is generally caused by pride as also by want. Now let us come to the second incident, the second major incident of the book. Students, this incident concerns the quarrel between the spider and the bee and Aesop's interpretation of this quarrel. It is by far the most interesting and the most memorable part of the whole book. It is the only incident in the book which may be called Swift's serious contribution to the ancient modern controversy. But for this, the book is a comedy almost independent of the controversy which was responsible for sparking it off. Into the cobweb of a spider, a bee unwarily happens to fall, but it soon is able to extricate itself. The spider gets very angry and heaps imprecations on the bee and asks it to respect its superiors. Thereupon, a debate ensues between it and the bee as to which is the superior of the two, the one who eats and excretes poison, or the one who without harm to the flowers bring in honey and wax, which gives sweetness and light. That is the bee's argument, which is repudiated by the spider, which claims superiority on the grounds of self-sufficiency and proficiency in mathematics and architecture. Students, Aesop interprets the bee as a symbol for the ancients and the spider as that of the moderns. It is significant that of all the people, Swift makes Aesop overhear the debate between the two insects and explain its symbolic significance, applying it to the current dissension between the ancients and the moderns. Aesop was the supposed writer of many beast fables which are current even now. His competence in handling beasts and birds so as to make them convey in their actions morals for human beings entitles him to serve as an interpreter of the arguments between the two insects. In his essay on ancient and modern learning, Temple had paid a high tribute to Aesop, but Bentley, in his reflections on the epistles of Phalaris, had questioned the genuineness of the idea of crediting Aesop with the authorship of the fables. He contended that they had been, in fact, penned by some later writers. Students, now let us discuss the third incident in the book Battle of the Books. The third incident includes the marshalling of the two armies under their respective leaders. The moderns are led by people like Dryden, Cowley, Boileau, Harvey, Bacon, Hobbes, Wilkins, etc. The ancients, on the other hand, are led by Homer, Pindar, Virgil, Herodotus, Temple, and so on. It is obvious which side Swift's sympathy lies. Professedly, however, he is giving a true impartial account. Just reading about the two armies can make one surmise as to which side the ultimate victory would have fallen. In his selection of the leaders of the two armies, Swift seems to have been directed by Temple's view in his essays on ancient and modern learning. So far as the ancients are concerned, Swift is careful to name, with the single exceptions of Cicero, all those who had been mentioned by Temple, of course, approvingly. But he must have faced a little difficulty in his choice of the moderns. Temple had praised a few modern writers whom Swift is careful to exclude from the lists. He includes those insignificant who were censored by his pattern. Consequently, his lists are not very representative. Students, this much for today. We will continue this discussion in our next chapter as well. Thank you very much.